Is a comic published by Image Comics still an independent comic?
So yes, Image is a indie comics company. And like, I don't want to disrespect this creator. I feel like they have the best of intentions, but I feel like it is very disingenuous to say that Image Comics isn't an indie company when the entire purpose of its founding and creation was to make sure there was an indie company for creators to go to make their passion projects happen. Like, despite my hatred of Rob Liefeld and my mixed relationship with Todd McFarlane, those two, Jim Lee, Wallace Portacio, Eric Larson, Jim Valentino, Mark Silvestri, they all work together to create this company that is creator first at all times. And like, I get it when you see the major books like The Invincibles, The Walking Deads, The Sagas, you see these titles that feel gargantuan compared to other companies like Mad Cave Studios, like Vault Comics that are making smaller books, but those companies themselves wouldn't exist if it weren't for Image. If it weren't for Rob Liefeld being a moron and wanting to create an offshoot of the X-Force and calling it the Executioners and almost facing a lawsuit, Image wouldn't exist and all these guys would have just stayed frustrated at Marvel. But because these 7 individuals took a risk, put their money where their mouth is, and decided to challenge the big two, Marvel and DC, and create a whole new identity for creators to go to and create stories they want to and not be trapped in the boxes of existing IPs, they were able to do so. And they started that idea with saying that your creations will be yours. And while some of them didn't really stay true to that at first, they have always tried to make it where that was the idea. And like, while yes, Image is the umbrella of like a bunch of different studios, those studios are fully controlled and exist under the ownership of the people who own them. A perfect example of that is Jim Lee. He owned Wildstorm Entertainment, and when he wanted to go work for DC, he sold Wildstorm to DC. And if he hadn't have done that, you wouldn't see characters like Grifter or Midnighter and Apollo blending into the larger DC landscape. But that's the thing, Jim Lee had that choice. He had the ability to choose that because he owned those characters. And like, look at Robert Kirkman. He has basically been called the honorary 8th founding member because he created Skybound and then had the Invincibles, the Walking Deads, etc. And he's made himself like one of the big pillars of Image. So you know, Image is indie. It's just the biggest indie in town, hence why it is the 3rd pillar of the industry. And to wrap up the video, 2 of my favorite books of all time come from Image, and that's Excellence and Bitterroot, and you should check those out. Have a great day.